That's affirmed.
Oh, it's not.
No crew action or monitoring required today.
Like
Okay, we will
today
take
was
time to get this cabin looking good.
the
And
open fire. Yeah.
I think you can come back on
This is a
board with
major
the camera.
Sounds great.
the NA
Thank you. We'll take you up on it, and we'll be coming on board.
at first. Yeah, it's know what this. No, we're not being.
To take that late, that's gonna shake up energy. That's all I'll say.
That could shake up the whole region.
Bro, what type of?
Again, you know, imagine a weekend without NRG. I know we've already had one this season, but after they returned to form, it felt like, okay, you know, never again. Never say never.
Yeah, well, if it happens once, it can happen twice. And NRG are not looking too good right now with that loss. But there we go. Gen G versus LOB. They are looking how they're supposed to with that first game win. And they're going to get second here from Magic Bear.
Yeah, makes sense. They're not doing. Pretty sad though that this is like third day or fourth. Oh no, I think it is third.
That just got on him way too quick.
I don't know though.
And again, early fireworks out of Gen G.
Oh my.
I feel like this is what we'd like to see Leaf as well from Gen G. Like we were talking about, Gen G are having a bit of ups and downs with their
I don't know how
and now we're kind of seeing a lot more comfortable version
I
of
didn't think that would work.
against the likes of LOB. Do you think that's what they need right now, setting themselves up to try and get this?
It's very laggy still.
I think they need to just understand.
Okay, maybe not.
Overall, they're the stronger roster. I mean, just know that and play confidently. That's
Actually, like it wasn't going in, but that did.
Just play your game, but like this is one of those situations where it really is just that.
What?
You just play the way you guys play together, and you win this series.
You know, one thing I heard from actually the father of one of my high school players is that you know, you don't let the name occupy any mental space. Oh, what a shot by Magic Bear! I'll expand on that in a moment. Look at this shot. This is, you couldn't pick it up and place it any better.
Poor Hockey left alone in the net, not even able to save that slot from Magic Bear. They really want this win, Stacks. They really want this win.
Yeah, the key for teams like Next to New and LOB here in the spots they're in is you can't let the name of the team on the other side occupy any space.
Yeah. Well, that one's a pretty clear picture of what is probably going to be the final result for Game 2. Match point looking likely for Gen G. We'll check in a second if that changes for you guys. But we head over back to this Next to New and NRG match, which I remind you, Next to New is currently winning 1-0 in this best of 5.
This is exactly what Stacks was talking about too. You were right talking about Next
What is happening?
in a good line here. They almost had a really good opener shot against NRG, but just banged off that crossbar. And yeah, Stacks.
Okay, that is a crazy one. I wouldn't even expect that with.
Yeah, he's gonna look real smart if they win this.
He is.
They transition out of defense so quickly, very similar to teams at the top, like NRG, like Space Station. You know, they don't get bottled up nearly as much, and you know, they score so many off of counterattacks because you know you have a team commit in, you catch them with one back, and if you get a numbers advantage, cash in on it. Do that a couple times, and in the course of a series, that's kind of a free gift. I mean, look at Eris, even with all of NRG, there at the back, they had to respect him. Because you have to respect that too. Daniel could score from that angle, but you know, NRG isn't used to playing teams on Friday that can match them like this.
I love that. The skill level, it's evidently increasing with these other teams that don't particularly make those majors or even make it to the playoffs for that matter. They usually kind of get to the top 8 level, and that's it, but next to no.
You guys don't even
Proving otherwise. As a beautiful shot
Next.
there. Panda's gonna set
Never
them
made it
forward,
to
and
the.
Ar's already up for
Or
it.
actually, they don't really make it, but maybe they did. I don't know. But they don't. They're not even.
Wouldn't have had the read no matter what. He
That's
just kind of
true.
dodged into the net.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It is. Again, next to new. Unfazed by the status of the team across the way. And they're not
Up
gonna
and comers.
they're not gonna give up any cheap ones this time around either. Like, I don't think they're gonna quite go into the the turtle shell here at all, but yeah, they
But NRG did kind of look worse than usually
overextending and getting
in last
like
match
they
as
did when
well.
NRG started bringing it
So
back
it
in game 1.
got for before. I mean, not May. The playoffs. It
The
terrible.
difference between the previous series we watched with Energy and this one, do you think, even though Virtus Pro obviously played to their top game, Next to New is doing similar, what's the difference between the two teams that Energy have played that's shut, Next to New is shutting Energy down like this?
I mean, you might. I mean, we'd have to look under a microscope here because I'm watching a few other games too. But the honestly,
Oh, shot, by the way. Sorry.
I mean, that's fine.
beautiful shot.
It's a best of 5, and I think we've seen teams struggle a bit more, like the better teams.
What is that?
But a best of 7, I think this turns around.
No way,
like
DJ.
that long endurance game. But when you're jumping from game to game like this, off a long series, that can still wear you down.
And I mean, Energy are doing a great job at counteracting against that last goal anyway. You see that sneaky one going in bottom left. First not able to save that. They're keeping it close. They're keeping it close.
Well.
Third.
Gen G, yeah, gonna have triple match point after a 4-0 win in game 2. That's how you send a
Third.
message to an underdog that playtime's over. And Gen G gonna be going in with a lot of confidence, having 3 shots at getting into the top 8.
That's fine.
To go here, and Next to New are looking like they're going to favor this match point in game 2, but we don't unaccount NRG and their abilities to tie this up. They're definitely going to try and do that, as they're going to put some more pressure here on Next to New's defense, but nothing's quite making of it so far, and you can see a lot of struggle for possession as well from NRG. They're not really able to keep a hold of that ball for any longer than a few seconds before Next to New player, is in amongst it all.
The monks. Yeah, I do think this is day 3, by the way. Their viewer count is
Still have these individual plays that could make it through. We saw Beast Mode.
for day.
Daniel
For,
going for some
no,
of
yeah,
the-
day 4. I mean,
would be threes.
day 3 is the
Those
way.
could easily just turn into a goal at any second here.
Oh,
If they can find a demo to open up that slot, that'll be good. But I like the spread out positioning from Next to New as well. I think that's helping them a lot. You know, it's NRG's going to struggle to find some of that physical play because of that.
Well,
I don't.
that's beyond point
Oh, I have that.
because NRG, their passes were crisp, right on.
Like, how did I even get hit?
Putting their teammates in position to tie that game up, and Next to New, they stuffed them out. Only barely though. There are a couple really good opportunities for NRG there in that last minute.
Yeah, it was close. Sorry, I'm cutting you off there. But like you said, it's a close series so far, but Next to New match point. That's going to be a tough one for Energy to come back from.
Yeah, I mean, again, I do not count them out at any point. You'd be silly to do that.
Definitely.
If you've seen any of North American Rocket League before. But at the same time, you got to start wondering if we are going to see a little bit of a repeat there from NRG, something we've seen in the past, something that isn't unattainable for Next to New. That'd be quite the way to start weekend off. Maybe they just want to match some of the theatrics of the European region, but Gen G doesn't want to care about that at all as they sit match point in their game against Lob. Reminder, this is a qualification here. LOB will be eliminated if they can't bounce back in the series. They'll need a reverse sweep. Qualification for the playoff bracket tomorrow. Looking likely for Gen G.
Just to, give some context to how important this is for Gen G. Only 2 points out of open 4. Just getting into top 8 alone. More than double that for them.
That'll be good. They'll need that. It'll be a good booster as well for the split. Get that top 8 as well would be ideal, especially for Gen G, like we mentioned
Nice.
previously as well. Gen G not
We got lucky, I'll admit.
season, especially with that swap with Frosty coming in as their new third. They're looking a little bit stronger this series with this tremendous lead against LOB. LOB though are going to try and do their best to salvage anything that they can make from this series. It does look very one-sidedly.
Well, I thought I saved that.
I think I figured it out. Well, at least I'm trying to
Literally looked like
that.
that.
NRG, when it comes back to that series is maybe they just make it interesting because I'm looking at the points. They're like, oh, they're not completely ahead of everyone. You know, people could pass them. Maybe they're looking just to bring it to that last open to it's. I told you it's a cope.
So you're telling me that they're doing it deliberately to, you know, skip.
Yeah.
What is the
maintaining open number 6, right? You don't want everything solidified by open 6, right? That'd be boring.
It's like a game 5.
Yeah, I really do.
I totally get you, Leaf. I'm with you on that. It's a
It's
strategy.
just like the star player about to hit a milestone on the road, so they take him out of the game and let him hit his 1000th point at home in front of the home crowd.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
So NRG just gonna kind of throw here.
Yeah.
And then they'll. Oh my goodness.
That is a sanctity.
I told no.
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah.
I told you. This is cinema, and NRG understands what it means to broadcast this out to the fans.
Yeah. Make everybody tune in for Open 6. Yeah.
Thank you, Anna.
Okay.
Wow. NRG, what have we done? What's went wrong here from the last series to this series where you can't respond to a single game against next to new? I mean, I'll say it before I'll repeat myself as many times as I need to. Beast Mode was such a high performer. Daniel gonna step up here and tie up the game against next to new. But the performance that we saw from the last series, where has it gone?
I mean, it is a long day. Sure, they weren't challenged much in the first match with Gen G, but Virtus Pro is a team that ever since the first split has given them fits, and then you're going up against a team that, again, I think is maybe the most underrated team that NA has to offer, and they can absolutely play with these guys. They are going to be down a goal here, but they can play with them.
Well, Leaf, what were we thinking? Don't ever rule out NRG.
I said that, yeah. What I was saying before about like them, throwing for content is just the cope. Like I'm just trying to give people like a pre-excuse for a loss, but I personally am not counting them out. Like I mean, we've seen it plenty of times before where they bounce back in series like this. We see it from any of the top teams too.
Well, no offense, Stacks, but if we see, I don't think next to new is gonna get a sweep. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
They could win, but I don't think they sweep. It could be close, but NRG, I feel like they've got a lot more lightness around them to have some sort of a comeback and not get swept this early on in the tournament anyway.
I mean, listen, if they sweep NRG, they should all do cartwheels. Because it doesn't get much better than that outside of, okay, well, now let's go on and win the whole darn thing.
I feel like next new would make their way up that global ranking list that we see everyone do. Maybe overtake
Maybe.
NRG?
Not yet.
Not on first touch. Not on first touch. Paige would have to see him do it again.
That's NRG PR right there.
And to be fair, I'd have to agree that I'd have to see it again. And then we see again, we have multiple games going on right now, so we're jumping back and forth, watching watch party style what's going on. We have an overtime for Gen G that looks like it could be a nice 3-0 for Gen G, but maybe LOB brings it back just like NRG is trying to do in this first match on your left screen or side of your screen there.
Yeah, I love it when we can see all the games. Although we only have 2 right now, but when there's 4, it's more fun.
After, so we'll have a lot more for you soon, Jordan.
Yeah, I know.
And all of Group B coming up after this. That'll be, so all the excitement that we just had in Group A up to this point, press the reset button. Shopify Rebellion, Space Station, Dignitas. Could be a real big spoiler over there.
It's like Christmas.
Just do it all over again.
Let's go. Show me some respect.
It'll be an interesting group as well. I don't
Damn, the diamond wasn't useful at all. Somehow the flat through.
as well, and obviously, like we mentioned, NRG now in the lower bracket trying to fight for that top 8. It's going to be dangerous for anyone that's coming up against them when it comes to the playoffs. But Next to New could be taking that. If they try their luck here in this game number 3, they're going to try and tie it up, but they're not going to get that possession that they're looking for from the likes of NRG. They're really trying to keep this one in their hands.
This is where things can get dangerous for Next to New, is when NRG starts really amping it up on the offensive half there. I think Next to New's done a real great job of shutting down a lot of the counterattacks to start with, but once NRG does get down there, they feel so threatening. But good hold there from Next to New.
Somebody needed boost. They didn't have any to work with before they finally got out of the zone, but just gonna run out of time here unless they've got something miraculous up their sleeve. And not likely against NRG, though. You only have one more to beat. If they can get by beast mode, easier said than done. Redirect. Oh my God! Aris did it again to him.
We all thought NRG was going to be taking this game 3, but Aris and Panda said, not on my watch. This game is going to keep going, Leaf. It's going to keep going. We have overtime.
Yeah, man, and this is something that I think is going to help them shut down a lot of the counterattacks. They always have a player that's kind of creeping in a spot just outside the field of view of any of these defensive players on NRG, and it allows for moments like that for Aris to just squeak through a little cheeky goal.
Wow. NRG are not going to be feeling good after that. You know, they few
That's
seconds away from
Could
winning
have
the game, and Next to New just ripping it away from them. Stacks. Full pressure back on NRG in this overtime. Don't think they want to be in overtime right now. Do you think that they can pull this back?
Well, they certainly can. Again, they've got, unmatched pedigree for anybody in this region. The problem is you have to have that quick mental reset of going from seconds away from prolonging the series to one challenge away from being out at all. What a recovery there. Beast mode on the doorstep, and NRG does answer.
Yeah, I also love the poise, though. I mean, that was a good defensive effort there. It's just beast mode.
What was my teammate doing?
That's why he's been a highlight player for NRG so far. They keep themselves alive there as we head over to the other game that's happening at the end of Group A, and it's the LOB Gen G match. This is also a qualification elimination match, with Gen G 1 goal away from qualifying for top 8 tomorrow. Lots of overtime now as we get near the end of this group, Jordies.
I feel like all I know is overtime, Sleeve. That's
yeah, coming up last week too.
I know. I just have indulged in, what was that one? The Virtus Pro NRG one, the longest?
Yeah,
the longest ones?
It was close to the longest. Yeah, it was one of the longest best of 5 overtime, or best of 5 match.
Longest in this region.
Wow, there you go. I'm just having the time of my life with what I'm going to experience on this show. But yeah, we have Gen G, LOB, 4 minutes overtime, 1-1. Gen G trying to get that sweep, but LOB trying to stay in the series. It's going to be a fight for their life in this regional, as like you said. This is to qualify, or if you lose, you do get eliminated.
Yeah, Stacks, this has to be frustrating too, being 1 goal away from making top 8, and you're just stuck in this overtime.
Yeah, and the longer this overtime goes, if you're the one that concedes and the series continues, that just tilts you even more. Because then there's so many what ifs. What if I jumped sooner for this? What if I converted that opportunity 3 minutes ago? Gotta have one here, and we play on.
What a long shot there from Adam to themselves in the tournament. What a great midfield shot right over one of them, and just too fast there for the last defender of Gen G to save. That was a really nice shot, Leaf.
It was. It was a fantastic shot. I think one of the best shots they could have taken, considering you stay alive, you're not eliminated. So they'll go to a game 4. We head back over to the Next to New and NRG match, where NRG is trying to climb back with a reverse sweep of their own.
And Next to New didn't miss by much. That was a real tough angle, very tight to the wall. Needed to be absolutely perfect. Unfortunately for Next to New, they were not.
Well, Next to New, even though they had their chance there to close out the series, defeating NRG, knocking them out top 12.
What is happening?
On NRG, holding
That
on
lag
in
is
the
crazy.
series.
That time it was lag. That's the only goal where lag wasn't it.
Sweet.
Like, I was on the ball.
Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on right
That's
now.
literally not what it was.
Switching it
Literally.
in, considering they lost that last one, if they're going to just keep to the game plan, I think that's probably the best strat right now.
What? How did that go?
You go into super close games like this against NRG, keep doing what you're doing.
I don't think Eris wants to be the lone man back. I think he feels a lot more comfortable being up almost ahead of the play. That's going to be just off.
Crazy. I mean, I'll blame it on the lag, but one goal.
And it's going
I
to
do
go
it.
straight into the hands of Next to New. Almost working out a counter there. Energy able to hold on. 3 minutes left of game number 4. Beast Mode doing everything that he can there to keep this ball out of their half. But it seems like this ball is going everywhere. No one really figuring out what exactly needs to be done yet to get that first goal on for
I
the
feel like you didn't even take.
That's you know, that double 50 there from Panda just before is one of the things I was talking about. How good they are at stopping a quick shift of momentum, a counterattack from NRG. Their reads on those 50s have been phenomenal from all three of the players on side of Next to New that have shut down a lot of those pushbacks.
It's crazy how laggy it is.
Just gotta be careful. Had to be very quick onto that.
I don't get how I have this lag right.
A lot of opportunities, NRG, and Next to New. The longer this remains scoreless, normally you think the underdog benefits from that, but yeah, the pressure's going to mount on these guys. Yeah, every game in this series they've had a lead. Or actually, no, I don't think they had a lead at any point last game, but they've staked themselves in the first couple of games to big leads. Now they're playing on level footing with NRG late into the game, and now you're just kind of waiting for the wall to break. And it has again here, thanks to Atomic and Daniel.
What a fake out as well by Daniel, calling himself off.
What is that supposed to?
For Atomic to get that nicer
Didn't even go through.
to put energy in.
That's how laggy it
They're
is.
working it back. They're possibly, well, not possibly, they're trying to get that reverse sweep going so they can benefit off of the series and progress in their tournament run. But Next to New are gonna have to counter that one off, aren't they, Leaf?
Yeah, it was multiple things that Daniel did well there. Is just instead of going for a shot to the far side, he takes it high to go off the backboard, which gives him multiple options, a flip reset, and then also the fake that he ended up going for. Is just really heads up, like giving yourself the most options in a scenario like that.
Trying to keep a team like NRG off their footing.
That was crazy.
In an unexpected 50 win, a demo to try and disrupt them. Unfortunately for Next to New, NRG's seen every play in the book. Eris has caught him a couple of times in this series. Doesn't happen often.
No, yeah, I am doing bad. It's not lag. One goal was lag. I can't make it all 7 of, or all other 6.
No, it's 3.
Even though this lag is.
In their series right now on match point, so if it stays that way, they'll be moving on to top 8 tomorrow. Yeah, they're not happy with that loss.
Anything could happen over there.
That's fair. That's fair.
But you know, I wouldn't like to put Gen G down on that. I feel like they could hold that one. They could hold the line on that. NRG though, can they do the same? They got 20 seconds left to work.
I did demo him. I didn't even touch him.
Possible. They're
What is
gonna try
that?
and do that. Actually, a big miss from Aris to pick up the ball right to Atomic. But Percy's gonna keep that one at bay.
I was thinking that should have surely gone in stacks, but good hustle there from Percy to get back. Those are the mistakes you don't want to make.
Yeah, this will just come down to ground, and guess what? We're not done yet. Oh, we're not done yet over there either.
Nope.
Just as soon as we wrap up with NRG, all of a sudden LOB starting to claw back a little bit. Do you imagine if this one goes to Champs Field?
I mean, May as well. If they're both, if one's going there, you may as well bring both, right?
That'd be a generational comeback from LOB to get that game 5 going.
Yeah, that was
Like I said before, they've got a lot of time to work with here, Stacks. It is possible, and they do have possession of this ball and the pressure. They're going to try and work with it, but Gen G are going to try and deny it as much as possible.
That's a solid skim too, and then just the boldness to go for fakes around midfield as well. Even when you're down as much as LOB is, you kind of need to make those high risk, high reward plays. Because you also know in the back of your mind, if this, did he get a touch on that?
I don't know if he did. I think he was definitely trying to. I was silent.
one more goal and I lose.
But you know, because that blows up in your face, that's game and series over.
That is true. But this is still going. It's still looking good. LOB going to try and put this one, get a second for their team, but nothing to come through. Gen G defense staying strong. And they're going to try and counter this very quickly, getting that far away from their net as possible. I really don't want this gap.
I don't know, I don't want to play it. I hate this. Why is it laggy on every crazy?
Still come back, but
Gonna leave match.
There it is again. Look at those cutoffs. Just the hard cuts to keep that ball from.
I hope one day it's not laggy.
Incredible awareness of
But this time it wasn't as laggy as today. Oh, I mean, like this time it wasn't as laggy as yesterday.
Good series now. I like this.
That was tremendous recognition from Frosty too. Able to trigger that counter.
See you guys, though.
They did a